I can't believe it's December 16th and we're more than halfway through December because I am not done with my holiday shopping yet. I still got to do that, you guys. I'm focused on what we're doing, which is real estate deals. You know it? Oh my goodness. This year has been absolutely amazing at Grow Global. Rob just reminded us we have over 78 videos of masterminds, of agents pouring into agents. And John, you're going to screen share. We're
I
going to
know.
show you all where do you find all this amazing talent? Well, we've got the whygrowglobal.com website where you can go and find amazing videos of all these masterminds that we have done. And not only do we have the Why Grow Global, but you can also go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go back and watch some of these, you all. What's phenomenal about this is that look, if you forget something, go back and watch it. I had somebody reach out to me the other day that watched a video from back in April and they just watched it last week.
Hmm.
The content is still relevant. That's what I love about this. It's not outdated and the content is still relevant. And there is some great ideas that you can utilize for 2025. That you can go back and watch some of these videos and make sure that you're working into your business plan for certain. So we've got the YouTube channel. And then don't forget about social media. Join the Grow Global Mastermind Academy through Facebook and follow us there for all the updates and everything that's happening and so forth. And make sure you invite your friends in real estate. Look, Grow Global is for agents, built by agents, so that we are here to educate one another, collaborate with one another, and just with people that are more than willing to share and grow and scale their business. So we have saved the best for last because this is going to be the last Grow Global Monday Mastermind for 2024 because next week we're getting into the holidays with Christmas and then the following week we're getting into New Year's, right? And so this is going to be that final Monday Mastermind until 2025. And so for those of you who have not seen Robb Campbell speak before, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness, I'm glad we're recording this today and I'm glad it's going to be housed because Robb Campbell, gosh, he's been in real estate so long. I think I'm not even old enough. No, I'm teasing. He's not been in real estate that long, but no, he's been, what is it now, Rob? How many years?
30 years.
30 years in real estate. Robb
Mhm.
Campbell and Kim owned over 15 Remax franchises, okay? They know what it's like to develop agents. They know what it's like to help agents grow their business. They know what it's like to help agents build a business plan. And look, so many times in my 26-year career that I started the year with absolutely no business plan. And that was the mistake. I had no goals. Well, today, Rob is going to walk us through what is that business plan? What should it look like? So if you've created a business plan, great. Let's see if Rob can help you evolve it. If you haven't started a business plan, today, Rob's going to show you exactly how and why because it is not too late to start that. So, Robb Campbell, thank you so much. Save the best for last.
That's right.
Come on
Thanks,
in.
Stephanie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in my years of growing real estate companies and helping agents expand their business, we figured out little tweaks and seen little clues of what experienced top producing agents do. And by far, the ones that produce the most efficient amount of money, commission income, are the ones that have a plan. They put a plan together and they execute the plan. We actually learned this through Tony Robbins years ago. Kim and I studied through Tony Robbins for business development, and we pulled a lot of those trainings out of Tony Robbins, and we said, hey, we need to put this into our office. We need to teach our agents how to do this. And so we started doing it, and the production rate went through the roof. Now, here's the hard truth of this, though. Most agents will not even lift a finger to create their own business plan for the year. They're just not going to do it. The agents that do some sort of business plan, most of them won't even do anything with it. They'll stick it in a drawer and never look at it again, right? But some agents will do a business plan and then follow the plan and then keep reading the plan and then tweaking the plan throughout the year. And they're the ones that are going to see massive amounts of production throughout the year. So I'm going to go through a business plan that we've done in the business world, not just for real estate, but for companies as well. And I'm going to condense it down into less than an hour. This is an all-day business plan. We would sit people in a conference room, shut the doors, they can't leave except to eat or pee, and then we would focus on their business plan for the next year. But this is going to be quick. So what I suggest you do is, as I go through this, if you can take some notes as you go along, that's great. If you can put some of these ideas down on paper as you go along, that's great. But also, if you really want to dive in, go back to the recording of this and play it, and then stop it as some of these exercises come about, and then mentally go through the process yourself, writing this information down, building a plan, and then start it again, and then write some more information. So build the whole plan. But I'm going to go through the outline of it today so that you can have a gist of how to build something solid for you going forward. So the first thing that we want to talk about, though, before we start building an actual plan on paper, is you need to have a reason why you're doing this. Because I've noticed that people that have a strong reason why they're doing anything in life, then they make it happen. If you're just going through life for just to survive, that's not a motivation, but you need a strong purpose. So the first thing we want to come up with is for people to understand why they're doing this. And so I'll sit down and have them start jotting down every reason why they're in real estate, why they want to be successful, why they want to make a lot of money, why they want to sell a lot of homes. Figure out what's your big purpose for being in real estate, the ultimate purpose, right? Because if you know that, then it knows what motivates you. Are you doing this because you want to build something for your family? Or you want to do this because you want to build yourself up because you want to look good for a future spouse if you're younger, right? Are you doing this because you want to leave a legacy for your children? Or you want to make a difference in the world? Or you want to give back to other people? Or you want to share with, to have the resources to donate? What is your reason why you're doing this? And have a really big, strong one. So that's number one. And really spend some time thinking about why you're in real estate and why you want to be successful. The second thing I want you to keep in mind is, before we get into details, is what does ultimate success look like for you? Because it's different for everybody. Think about it this way. When you're done, whatever done means to you, right? I mean, the famous joke in the real estate world is, what's a retirement party for a real estate agent? A funeral, right? Well, what is ultimate for you? We don't want it to be a funeral. We want you to enjoy life when you get done with this. But what does it look like when you're done? So let's say that you've built up systems, you have income coming in. Maybe your company you're with has a residual piece to it. Maybe you built up a lot of investment properties or saved a lot of money in your investment accounts. But you're at a point now where you want to just kick back, put it on autopilot, and enjoy your life. Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to get a big farm and create a homestead. Maybe you want to see the United States, get in an RV and go tour all 50 states. Whatever I guess you can only do 49 because one you have to fly. But whatever you could want to do ultimately when you're done with this, what does it look like? So that comes into play with your exit plan, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But what does your ultimate success look like when you're done, when you've created the ultimate business and it's running, and or you've got it on autopilot, but you can step aside or sell it or whatever, you can step aside and really enjoy life. What does your ultimate success mean in life? So spend some time and think about what it looks like to be ultimately successful, and which is different from your why. So now let's get into numbers. Let's check some things out. First thing that you should do, if you've been in real estate for any time, you should analyze your business for last year. We need to know what numbers you had for last year. If you haven't been in real estate, let's say you're new to the real estate industry, go back and see what is your financial life been in the last year, right? How much money did you make last year? But if you're in real estate for any length of time, analyze exactly last year's numbers. How many closings did you do? How many listings did you do? How many selling size did you do? What's your gross commission income? Stephanie Gilson will tell you that's the one number that's the most important. Your gross commission income. Because if you reach that number, it doesn't matter how you got there, right? So that's the number one thing. What was your gross commission income for last year? The next question is, how much of that number did you get to keep? You need to know what you're spending money on. You need to know what your expenses are. You need to know how much it costs to run your business and how much of that was actually yours to invest, pay bills, go on vacation, save, whatever you want to do with that extra money. How much of it did you get to keep last year? I've had top teams that came to me and says, I don't understand. I'm making $1 million a year in gross commission income, but after I take all my expenses out, I've got barely little left. And I said, because you built your team wrong. So if you built your team right, if you built your systems right, then you would be making a nice income. So then we have to go in and revamp everything. But you need to know what you got to keep. What your business expenses are. Keep those in mind. Make sure you know where your money is going. Most people spend money and they don't even know where it's going. Of your business last year, where did your business come from? Of the sales you did, where did it come from? Did it come from lead generation? Did it come from sphere of influence? Did it come from meeting people? Did it come from open houses? Did you have a lead serve? Did you internet? Where did your business come from last year? Referrals are by far the number one. You want to build a strong referral business, but business can come from all different places. But you need to track where it came from. If you know where your business came from, then you can reverse engineer that and do a lot more of what works. Does that make any sense? So if you're really good at one area, but you're getting business from different areas, but you find one area is really strong, maybe you need to spend a lot more effort and time. The money could be more efficiently spent some places producing a lot. So know where your business comes from. And that's going to lead you into what worked well. Just mention that. What works well in your business and what did not work. That's another thing you should know. What did you spend money on that did not produce any results? Because that you can reallocate those funds somewhere else, preferably somewhere that's producing results. So now you've analyzed your business for last year. How many closings you did, the commission, where the business came from, what worked, what didn't work, where the lead sources, all that. Now let's go into getting prepared for 2025. So if you're going into 2025, one thing that I know about successful real estate agents is if you're going to dominate a market, you need to know your market. You need to understand that market front, back, and sideways. So dig into the market that you're going to target. Is it a geo area? Is it a county? Is it a certain mile distance from where you are? Figure it out. Pick out where you want to go, what you want to do, but know that market specifically. Go into the MLS and find out how many homes sold in the last year in certain categories, in certain neighborhoods, for what price. Are the prices going up? Are they coming down? Are they staying flat? What's going on in the markets? What's going on in houses versus condos? Many MLS boards will have this information for you. You just got to go source it. But if you understand what's going on and you can identify trends that way, because what are buyers and sellers hiring you for? Because of your knowledge, right? So if you know what's going on and you can give that information to them, they're going to perceive you as a very knowledgeable and experienced agent. So just having that information. Now you can take this information and you can leverage it in your marketing. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit as well. But knowing the values, knowing the pricing, knowing luxury versus regular, where that luxury market is, because in some markets, luxury is a different price than others, right? Like I'll bet out in California, a luxury house is a lot different than Kentucky. So condos, neighborhoods, understand your market to a T. Become an expert. And we're going to talk about how to brand yourself as the expert in that market in a little bit. So the next thing is, let's go for what your goals are for 2025, right? So you know what you did in 2024. Let's look at what you want in 2025. And you can do it in different ways. I know Stephanie's going to say gross commission income. That's it. Let's go with that number. But how many listings do you want? How many listings do you want to take? How many buyers do you want to do, if any? Do commercial. You want to do some commercial deals. What's your gross commission income? So we need a target of what you want to do. And you need to break it down, not just annually, quarterly, monthly. You need to track and to have a target for what you want to accomplish each month. Now, is it going to vary? Of course, there's going to be a month where it might be light and another month that might be heavy, but you want to be able to track that because you need to know. So come up with your statistics, how many listings you want to take, how many buyers you want to do, what's the commercial deals you want to do, gross commission income earned, have a goal set for the financial side, okay? And a lot of this is going to take a lot more than just right here on this call. You're going to need to sit down and think about this and run some numbers. Now, by knowing that number, you can reverse engineer this, can't you? If you know you want 100 deals this year, you know you got to do 25 a quarter, right? You know you can break it down per month on how many deals you need to do. And then you can break it down by, okay, I need to make so many phone calls, so many contacts to get one deal. You know exactly what you need to implement to get those. But no, having a goal will backtrack into what you need to do. So the next thing is, how are we going to get there? First thing is identifying sources of business. Where do you want to focus your energy on sources of business? Now, you can look at your numbers for last year. Where did the majority of your business come from? And is that working? And focus heavily on that. Or do you want to add something else to your business? Because if you want to grow, maybe you do need to add some areas. And so number one by far is database. If you have your sphere of influence and you're working that hard, the longer you're in real estate, the more important your database becomes in growing and building a reoccurring referral-based business. That takes time to do that, but it starts day one. When I'm bringing on a new agent, first thing I have my staff do is get with them and have them set up their KV Core technology, set up their database from their phone, or any database program they have, merge it over, set up a plan on how to attack their database. That's the first thing I have them do because it's so important. So what else do you want to do? You want to do social media. A lot of agents are getting into the social media space in how to grow their business. There's lots of strategies on that. Do you want to do geo-farming? You know what's coming back now is postcards to neighborhoods. We're starting to see that at our house now. We're getting inbound mail. It was really huge way back in the day. Everyone poo-pooed it for years because, oh, mail is out. We're kind of seeing that again now. So having a plan if you want to do geo-farming. Expires, withdrawn, FSBOs, that's a whole nother segment. There are places you can go to get technology to feed those to you every morning so that you know who to call. Open houses. We had a Monday Mastermind that was brilliant on open houses. So go back and watch that Monday Mastermind on how to do a fantastic, highly successful open houses. You don't know how many times when I'm talking to an agent that I want to attract to my company, I say about, hey, we've got all these tools and you should see this open house one, and I'll send them the link. So in our own system here, you can pull out lots of resources to help you sharpen your skills. Do you want to go after builders? I get calls from agents all the time. Hey, I think I want to go after builders. What do I need to do? I used to work on-site selling in new construction way back in the day. So I'm very familiar with how builders work. That's a whole different segment. Work with investors. There are a lot of highly successful real estate agents that do a majority of their business with investor working for and representing investors, finding deals for them, selling their properties, things like that. But there's a lot of different ways to grow your business. And by the way, if you want to jump into the chat and type in, how are you growing your business? Where do you want to focus on growing your business this year? Maybe we'll talk about some of them later on. So next is identifying niches in your business. Oh, by the way, on picking sources of business, I wouldn't try to do everything because that will spread your time out. I would try to focus in on certain things you're really good at. Now, in the beginning, if you're newer and you don't know what, maybe dabbling in different things to see what you like. But once you narrow down what's good, focus in on what's working for you and put more energy and effort and marketing dollars into those areas. That's my suggestion. Next is identifying niches in your business. So I've been teaching agents for years how to find niches in your business. And niches can be real estate related, like condos, investors, commercial, land, inner city, all different types of apartments. There's multifamily. There's a lot of different niches in real estate, but there's also ways to niche your business in your personal life. And this is where most agents don't really get this because they're thinking they want to keep them separate, right? Well, if you are the type of person that likes to go horseback riding, well, I'll bet you're on Facebook in groups of people that like to go horseback riding and the different trails they go on and things like that, right? So if you like that type of excursion, you can mix and mingle with other people that like that as well. Now, most of those people that are going horseback riding may not be real estate agents. Perfect. They might be buyers and sellers. Well, guess what? Many people who ride horses, they have a dream someday. What is that dream? To own their own horse farm, right? So why not leverage that in your circle of influence and something you love to do anyway? And again, become an expert. Know all the horse farms. Know what the regulation is for having a horse farm. How many acres do you need in order to have one horse and then two horses? Because it's different. You need to know how that all works because when you're in your circle of friends that are horseback riding people, then you can be an expert on the real estate side and you can plant dreams in their head. You see, people go through life with tunnel vision on. And you can help direct that by planting dreams in their head. Every time you go horseback riding with your group, you can say, oh my gosh, I just had a friend of mine buy their own horse farm just 5 miles from here. Well, that puts a signal in, hey, maybe I can do that someday. And then you come up with a tract that's perfect for horses. You tell everybody, hey, I just found this great tract of land. It's big enough to do 2 horses on it. So now you're building your friends group in your expertise. So you can niche that. And you can niche this with anything. I had an agent that was a pit bull rescue girl. So we niched pit bull rescues for her business. If you like to work out at a gym, if you like to go hiking, if you go to church, if you own a Jeep owners, my brother and my oldest son have Jeeps. They have their own little, group and cult and everything. They have their own little wave and everything. They have their own tribe. So you can leverage that, right? And in your social media groups, you're in Jeep groups. So now you can leverage that in your real estate industry. And by the way, if any of you need help in expanding your niches in your personal life, reach out to me. I'll be happy to sit down and brainstorm with you on that because that's fun for me. I like that. So find niches in your business, real estate related niches and non-real estate related niches, and work those areas of your business. Next is skills. If you're gonna do something new or different or be better at it, improve your skills, you need to learn something new. You need to find what the new technology is out there. So look up, if you're going to, let's say you want to do expires, withdrawals, and FSBOs, and you've never done it before. That's a new skill. You might need to get into a training program, right, that teaches you how to do cold calling for expires, withdrawals. Learn scripts. Scripts are big on, you need to have your scripts down pat and how to overcome objections, right? What programs like Redx and some of these other companies that will feed you those leads every morning. So you need tools and resources for doing FSBOs. Well, that goes for anything. If you're going to start a new segment, or maybe you just want to refresh what you're doing, you need to figure out what new skills do you need to learn. Do you need a certification? Like, let's say our company has a relocation division in it. Then you have to be certified. It's a free training class, but you have to be certified to get reload leads. Do you need to go through and get certified for relocation? Is that an area you want to work? Do you want to work luxury? A luxury division, there's training classes for that. Do you work a seniors market? That's a big niche right now. A lot of people are aging out and they need places to go. So working the seniors market, there are trainings for that. First time home. You know, it's funny. I was talking to an agent that was wanting to work seniors, and they said, "Well, how do I get to know the seniors?" And I said, "Well, yeah, you want to get to know them, but you really want to get to know the seniors' children, because they're the one that's going to have to deal with all this later on, right?" So they go, "Really? So I need to find them." I said, "Yes, you build a relationship with them. You teach them and their parents how to navigate their senior years in real estate and investing." First-time home buyers, that's a huge niche. So if you want to do first-time home buying, maybe get some classes on that. Relocation, investors, how to work with investors. You might need some tools to do with investors, because they have all kinds of calculators that you can put in an investment property and it'll green light it or red light it and tell you, yeah, this is a good deal, or no, the numbers don't work, right? So there's lots of ways to leverage tools, resources, and trainings to help you to advance to the next phase of your business and to hit your goals. So the next thing, and what I want you to do is to go through this again, pause, and write down all the tools and resources and trainings that you think you might need in 2025, and then figure out where to get them. And put a date down on where you're going to get them and when you're going to get it done, okay? Next, let's talk about branding. I'm a big proponent of branding yourself, okay? When Kim and I used to be RE/MAX owners, RE/MAX wanted you to brand RE/MAX, right? Well, I was a rebel in RE/MAX. They didn't like me for years because I always told my agents not to brand RE/MAX, to brand themselves, have their own branding. Now that I'm with a different company, we are proponents of branding yourself, brokered by, and our company's EXP that I'm with, brokered by EXP. So whatever company you're with, brand you, brokered by the company you're with. Does that make any sense? So always own your own email address, own your own website address. Don't ever use email addresses and website addresses given to you by the company you're at, because they own and control you if you do that. Own your own and use them in your marketing, but brand yourself. Brand yourself with logos, brand yourself with images, put your brand everywhere, on your taglines, in your emails. Anything that you send out needs to have your branding on it. And when I'm talking to brand new agents, I get brand new agents to do that. The first thing they do when they get their license and come on board is set up their branding, because most agents don't do it until their second or third or fourth year in real estate, because they weren't taught to, because the company they're with doesn't want them to, right? Here, if you start from scratch branding yourself first, it will carry with you long term, right? Next, in your branding, you need to be really good at marketing yourself with stories. Build your story about where you've come from, why you got into real estate. You're going to have agents ask, you're going to have buyers and sellers ask you all the time about your background. We'll come up with an amazing, compelling story about why you're in this and why you're wanting to make a difference, and who you're helping and things like that, because people will follow people with a vision and a dream and a purpose why. If they just think they're a transaction for you, you're not going to capture them, especially in the market we're in right now. You need to build a great client experience. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but you need to have people see that you care. And by building a story, it helps them relate to you more. So next is technology. Technology is changing rapidly in the real estate industry. And many agents are not jumping ahead of the gun on this, but you should be. So let's look at what types of technology changes are occurring and what you need to learn. Do you need to learn how to do Chat GPT? I mean, I have my staff do Chat GPT all the time, right? I'll say, hey, run that through Chat GPT in multiple different ways, because there's different ways to put questions in Chat GPT, and you get different answers, right? I'll have my staff do it and then consolidate it all and spit it back to me, right? By the way, if you ever want to outsource that, you can get a virtual assistant in the Philippines or overseas, and they can do it for a fraction of the cost. It's a great way and that's another thing you should look at. Do you need a virtual assistant, and when, right? What duties can you take off your plate in real estate that are non-income producing that you can focus on what's income producing, right? But back to technology. What technology do you need to learn? What technology do you need to get familiar with, right? Our company rolled out Canva Pro to all of our agents for free, right? So if you're getting a resource, you need to learn that. You need to dive in and understand that, because there's some powerful tools in there. We also give out KV Core. Many real estate companies have some sort of lead generation system or database management. Ours is KV Core. Get in there and dig in. Learn into your database management program. What all does it do? Does it do lead generation? Can you build a landing page and boost it on Facebook and get leads directly back into your system? Learn what's available there. One of the things that I do when I'm onboarding an agent, my staff will get with them, because most agents aren't very tech savvy. So they'll get with them and they'll walk them through all the technology side of what's there for them. Most agents won't use most of it, but I want them to understand it's there. Now, the first thing I have them do is go through their KV Core, build their website, build their areas that they're marketing in, upload their database, put their drip campaigns in, figure out what type of marketing they want to do. So with boost programs and everything. But leverage technology, figure out what's out there, figure out what can help you get what you need. Like I mentioned, for sale by owners and expires and withdrawn. RedX is a technology you would use. There's a bunch. Vulcan 7 is another one out there. There's a bunch of them. I think somebody mentioned another one that was better. I can't remember what it was. Somebody, I'll sure put it in the chat. But there's a lot of technologies out there that can help you to achieve your goals if you dig in and understand them, right? So next thing is client experience. If we're going to build a long-term business in real estate, we need to make sure that we're building a fantastic client experience. They need to like, know, and trust you for the real estate business, but people will remember how you make them feel. They may or may not remember what you do for them, but they will remember how you make them feel. So if you have a great experience for them and they felt amazing through their experience, and then you continue to connect with them, invite them to client appreciation events, or invite them to, hey, let's go have a coffee or dinner or lunch or whatever. Just staying in contact with people, especially your closest clients, they're the ones that are going to be raving fans. And that's what you're wanting to build in your long-term career. There was a company in Nashville when we had our real estate offices up there, and he followed Mike Ferry. I don't know if any of you remember Mike Ferry. He's an old school real estate coach. I was a Brian Buffini guy back in the day, and Brian Buffini has a different system. Brian Buffini is about building relationships and nurturing clients and client appreciation events and dropping by and giving them a cookie every 6 months. Something, right? But Mike Ferry is about next, dial, right? It's a different system. Now, take the two different systems. In 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the road, when you stop dialing, the money stops. In a client-based business where you're nurturing that industry, that business with those clients, They're going to continue sending you referrals. Hey, you need to call my son. You need to call my brother. You need to call my aunt. So they're going to send you business. My best friend just got married. You need to call them. They're going to start sending you business because they know if you made them feel amazing about their transaction and that you took care of them, then you're going to give that same experience to the people close to them. Build an amazing client experience. There's all different ways to do that, but it's going to be with engagement and communications and connections and doing pop buys, as Brian Buffini used to say. But also giving value to them, sending them information that's of value to them constantly. So what's going on in the marketplace? What's going on with their house? What's happening in the community? Are they building a new community center? Are they building a new pool down the street? Keeping them informed of what's going on around them will help build raving fans for your clients. There was a study years ago, and I can't remember the exact numbers, but it said, once an agent closes a deal with a client, that client, most of the time, will forget your name in 8 months. They can't even remember your name in 8 months. Don't let that happen. That's why you got to stay in contact. Build that customer experience. So I need you to sit down, and for each of these areas, take some time and write out on a notebook everything that you need, the tools and resources, the trainings you need to go through, the technology you need to learn, the type of client experiences you want to provide. Do you want to drop by and give them a gift every 6 months, 3 months, whatever? Do you want to also do phone calls to a plan of action on how to attack your business? What types of business do you want to do? What areas do you want to focus on? What skills do you need to learn to do that? Write it all down on a list. Put a date down on when you're going to have that information accomplished, when you're going to do it, when you're going to master it, and then implement it. It's one thing to learn something, but it's one thing to put it into effect. So you have to implement it into your system. Now, how do you do that? And that's by creating a marketing plan. So once you have figured out what areas of business you want to attack and what areas of business you want to go after, you want to create a marketing plan of things that you do daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, that you're doing to achieve your goals in your marketing plan. You already know, based on the goals you have set earlier, of how many transactions you want to do or how much gross income you want to make. Well, you back into it and you need to figure out, okay, how many calls do I need to make a sale? And then if I need 5 sales this month, I need this many calls to make 5 sales this month. You need to back into it and implement a marketing plan and create a schedule. This was the hardest thing for me, but once I got used to this, it helped change my day, because most people who don't have their day planned out, the day goes before they get anything done. So take a calendar, whatever calendar you're using. Mine used to be a big desk calendar. I write it down back in the day. Now it's on my iPhone. But have a calendar and time block. Tony Robbins taught us this in scheduling years ago, is that you need to block out, take your day, week, month, whatever, and let's say it's going to be Monday. What are you doing every Monday? The first thing you need to do is block out everything that's important to you, right? Like if I'm going to my daughter's cheer games, I'm putting it on my calendar because I don't want anything else to interrupt going to cheer. Because if I don't put it on the calendar, I'll book an appointment over it and I'll miss her cheer, right? I don't want to do that. So number one, I put what's important to me on the calendar. So personal appointments or whatever's important to you, whether it's personal or business. Next, okay, what am I going to do for income generating activities? Now, I like to do income generating activities, and many of the agents that I've talked to prefer to do income generating activities in the morning, right? Can you do it in the evening for people you just can't reach in the morning? Sure. Whatever you do, block time for that. And during that time, only do what it's scheduled for. If you're going to block 9 to 10 for calling for sale by owners, expires, and withdrawals, that's what you do every day. If you do it every day, put it for 9 to 10 every day. That's your farming for expires and withdrawals. If you're doing follow-up, if you're doing connection calls with your database, let's say you're doing it from 10 to 11, then set that time. Okay, I'm doing calls to my database from 10 to 11. Schedule it and have it in your calendar, and make it a habit to be disciplined for that. Okay? Schedule time to work on your social media, but do not do it during income producing activity times. Social media can be done after hours, or if you're an early riser, early in the morning when nobody else is awake. So schedule your social media time in off-peak hours. So in the afternoons, what some of my top agents would do is they would schedule appointments in the morning and they do the appointments in the afternoon if you're that diligent, right? But maybe you schedule appointments or closings or whatever in the afternoons. And if you have a choice, you can kind of push it that way. If you have a closing and you're saying, hey, let's do it at 2:00 in the afternoon, and everybody says, yeah, we can do it. All right, I can't do it at 2. All right, 3, 4, whatever. Try to keep it in your time that you're going to be doing closings if you can. Now, are you going to have situations where you're going to have to do it at 9:00 on a Wednesday morning? Sure. But when you can control your schedule, you can say, I'm busy during that time, but how about 1? How about 2, right? So lead generation follow-up. So have a time schedule for following up with leads that you've been working on. Maybe you met somebody in a grocery store, but doing lead generation follow-up, which is different than client connection, right? All I'm saying is schedule it. Schedule training, schedule coaching events, schedule learning about some technology, put it in your schedule. If you can do it after working hours, perfect. If it's recorded or things like that, if it's a self-taught thing. If you have to do it during the day, but schedule it and get it done, okay? So next is an exit strategy. So what is your exit strategy going forward? So if you're thinking about your business, what are you going to do at the end of your time? We talked about what is your ultimate success looks like in the very beginning, right? So if you have an exit strategy, you know that over the next 10, 15, 20 years, I need to build a system that can be X, right? Can I transition it to a business partner? But I have a system to do that. How do I track that system? Can I transition this system to another person and just sell it, right? Do I turn it from a doing the business myself to a referral center where I'm just referring it out to people and getting a referral fee for it, right? There's different ways that you can play the game on the exit strategy, but having it in your mind going through the years is critical, because now you can think, oh, I need to set up a system to make that automated. I need to set up a system that I can train that to somebody else. I need to set up a system where I don't have to be the one to track that and follow up with that. But keep that in mind. What is your exit strategy in the future, and what systems do I need to put in place each year to be able to achieve that, right? And maybe that's hiring staff. I mean, I don't suggest brand new people hire a bunch of staff and then bring in a bunch of agents and create a team. I don't prefer that. Do people have that and they've been sold this package on the internet from a trainer that tells you how to build all this stuff and set all this up? Yeah, people do that. Do some people have success with it? Yeah. Do a lot of people fail with it? A lot, right? What I suggest is build your business as you go along. As you're putting these systems in place, as you're growing and building these connections, you're going to find a point where, oh my gosh, I just run out of time in the day. Well, that's when you add support services, right? Now maybe you can bring on a virtual assistant to cover some of those things that you don't need to be doing yourself. Maybe you can bring on a contract to close person. Maybe you bring on an assistant at the right time. Part-time, then full-time. Then your business starts to grow, and now you're just doing income producing opportunities, right? You're just doing income producing stuff, and then all the paperwork and all the follow-up and all the tracking is done by your staff. Now you're getting more productive and you're more cash rich. You're netting more money by doing it that way than having to pay for a lot of services that you're not bringing the income in yet. Does that make any sense? Now you've built this system. You've got your people in place. Then you're going to find yourself, I can't get to all the leads. Okay, well now bring buyer's agents in. And now, okay, you take all the buyers, I'm taking the sellers, right? Now you've just upped your game. Then you get to a point where, hey, I've got everything going smooth. I want to take a little extra time for myself. Let me bring on a listing coordinator. You build this as you grow so that it's most efficient. That's the best way I've seen teams grow in my career to be cost effective, right? So, and if you ever need any assistance on that, reach out privately. I'll be happy to help on building teams. I've built tons of teams in my career, and there's not a one size fits all for teams. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. There's the one that builds it with their sphere of influence and has a lot of self-generated leads. Then the others that do it only with lead generation sources, which is a different animal. But that's whatever you want to accomplish. Build the skills to do it right up front. So in wrapping all this up, we need to go through and track your results daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. Because next year, guess what? You're doing this all over again. If you already have your results from the year before, you can just plug and play and let's build out next year, right? Now, you can use tools for this. There are a lot of programs out there. You can do a business plan that you just track it manually on paper. You can put it on a big wall poster if you want to, like we used to do back in the day. Our company just is offering a program called Sisu free to our agents that does that. It tracks your production, tracks your results. You put in your inputs, it puts out, okay, you're on track, okay, you're not on track. It tracks everything for you. Find a program or a system that you want to use to track it. But the whole idea is you want to track the calls you're making daily. You want to track the connections you're making. You want to track the amount of business you're getting, whether it's buyers, sellers. You want to track everything in your business in the most efficient way possible. Track your lead sources, track where they're coming from, track your advertising portals. When you're putting money out, are you getting a return on that investment? This year, I've had more agents come to me and say they're paying so much money for Zillow and they're not getting a return on it. So it's great to be paying all this money and getting leads, but is it paying off? You need to know that. And by tracking your numbers, you will. But you need to track this daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually in your business. So either do it manually on paper, which is fine, or do it in programs that you can get the use of. So let me wrap this up by saying some points in 2025 to consider. Consider evolving. Real estate is changing, especially this year. We had to shift up how we talk to buyers, how we talk to sellers, and how we dealt with commissions, didn't we? And at first of the year, everybody was freaking out. And we came out right off the bat and said, calm down, guys. We'll walk you through this. We'll show you how to do this step by step. It's not a big deal. People have been in the industry for years and have seen changing markets. They understand how to navigate markets, right? But the reason that they're good at it is because they're willing to evolve. They're willing to change. They're willing to look at a challenge and figure out how to make it work. And the ones that do will make a boatload of money. We've just come through the worst real estate sales year in 30 years or something like that, right? For the industry as a whole. 2025, from what I'm hearing, is looking like it's a much better year. for the agents that are going to evolve. And that's what we want you to do is look at what can you do to evolve. And we mentioned a bunch of things on here: trainings, coachings, learning about technology, tracking your business. If you evolve your business to the new ways of doing business, then you're going to win. Next is keeping your eye on the economy and what's going on, whether it's going up or it's going down or whether it's flat. Know what's going on, because people are going to be asking you about it all year long. We've had some money masterminds with some great economic people that have come on here with brilliant information on what they see going on in the business. You can go back and watch some of those in our trainings. So understand what's going on in the economy. Have your pitch down on how to talk to people, because if you go, oh, I don't know, it's a tough year, then nobody's going to want to use you. If you go, oh yes, so this is what we see going on, this is where we're seeing changes, it's going to be up here, down here, sideways here. If you have an answer, they're going to go, wow, this person knows what's going on. I want to work with them. I trust them with my real estate business. But understanding what's going on in the economy, because it's going to be changing in different ways as we go through. It always has been, it always will be, but understand that. And then understand competition. There's a lot of agents out there in the industry. Don't be afraid of competition. Most of those agents in the industry are not going to do what it takes to be highly successful. But if you go through branding yourself, if you go through learning the technology and you go through what you need to do for client services and be a raving fan and you stand out, you're the one that's going to be getting the business away from the agents that don't do it. So that's a lot of information, and I rapid fired it to you. That's a whole day's worth of a training that we stop in the middle. We have brainstorming sessions, and then we talk to the whole class about what everybody found, and then we put it all down. And at the end of the day, we have a business plan written out for everybody before they walk out of the class. Obviously, we couldn't do that today, but I wanted you to have the structure of it. Because if you can go back and you can pause this training and come up with your plan step by step in detail, that's going to lead you to some raving success for not just this year, but continue that pattern year after year after year.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I mean, that was amazing, you guys. Does anybody have any questions? I mean, that was just the best. I mean, what a way to end the Monday Masterminds for 2024.
Total fire.
Total fire. Total fire, Rob. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Or
I
is
have a
everybody just
question.
like, wow?
Great job, Rob. You said that 2024 was the worst real estate, real estate challenge that since what year was that?
I can't remember but it's like in the 80s, right, Stephanie? I can't remember the exact year.
It was on record that this was the worst real estate year in 30 years. So that must have been 1984.
Yep, something like that.
Yeah. Which is
Thank
huge. And honestly, look, I know we all know people that have done extremely well in 2024, right?
Yes.
So it's like, what? It was the
done
worst
really
year?
well. And because we haven't seen the dip that everybody's talking about. Industry wise, we have.
Right.
Companies have seen it, but our group has been really resilient. I've been proud of them.
Well, and that's because we talk about this. It's because if you have the tools, right, you have to have necessities and you got to plug into those, right, to evolve your business. And that's
right.
that's part of the business plan, right? To plug into those tools. And if you're looking at your toolkit and you don't have any tools, you better be getting with somebody on this call that understands tools, because that's number one on your business plan. 2025, you need some tools. I mean,
Absolutely.
that right there is number one, in my opinion, because look, evolution is what happens in real estate. One of the things you were talking about, Rob, which gave me this aha moment. I got into real estate in 1999, you all, and technology was not a thing. I mean, nobody even had a website yet. Realtor.com didn't exist. Zillow didn't exist. Nothing existed, okay? There were no virtual assistants. I mean, think about it.
No
It was
teams way back in
so
the day.
it was so hard to do business. It was. You spent way more money on gas. You had a lot more time invested. And guys, you had to print everything, which cost
Hmm.
a lot of money. I
Yep.
mean, we were paying for ads in the newspaper for goodness sakes,
Hmm.
right? So
Yep.
I think to today, and I go, wow. Imagine how much more money everybody has the opportunity to make because tools have evolved us into that to where you can invest in these things a whole lot quicker.
Right.
You have a lot more money quicker to invest in these things to grow and scale your business, right? But that's why building this business plan is so important so you understand that you are ready. Because look, I Rob said it on this thing. He said, Stephanie cares about the commission income, and he's right. I don't care about the number of units you sell. I care about what's going in your bank account, and after your expenses, what did you get to keep? That's what matters, right? Because that's
Right.
how we all survive. And I have sat on numerous panels across this world where agents and brokers have said, well, I sold 100 houses or I've sold 800 houses. And I look at them and I go, well, how much money do you have? And they don't have nothing because they
Right
don't
there.
know how to run a business. All
Exactly.
they care about is trophies. Nobody, I don't care about trophies. I care about a business that can grow and scale. And that's why, Rob, we wanted this today. We wanted this business plan because it's so important for you to run this as a business. This is your career. It's your business. You're not going to work and getting a paycheck every week. You're running your business. It's huge, Rob. It was awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
This has been a fantastic year for us and helping grow everybody's business. I'm looking forward to next year because I know industry wise it's going to be a better year, but I want our agents to capture a big percentage of that.
100%.
Our
Hey,
group here at Grow Global.
and this
Trophies
morning,
don't pay
you
your
all,
bills.
Hey, and this morning, you all, it came out and it was released from the industry, the National Builders Association, that 2025, you're going to see more new homes constructed than you have in the last decade. So again,
Good.
there's something else to take a look at because it's easy to get your hands on things, right? I mean, the
Yep.
surplus is coming back. They're feeling really good about construction of homes. And so, you're going to have those opportunities as well too. So keep your eyes on those.
And then I want to add one more thing, Steph. Make our Grow Global Mastermind Mondays part of your business plan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Plug into these ideas weekly. I mean, Rob, you did a fantastic job today pouring into the agents that were able to show up here today. But plan on being here every single week because you'll get nuggets that'll help you grow your business from all of our speakers. And next, so like Stephanie said, next couple weeks we're dialing it down for the holidays, giving everybody a chance to rest and spend some time with loved ones and create some memories and do all that fun stuff. And hopefully everybody's got some great stuff planned. But we're going to start the year off strong. Our first two Mondays, the first one is how to negotiate with your buyers, I think. And the
Yep.
second one is how to negotiate with your sellers. And I know, Steph, you're going to be one of our speakers, you and Alex
Yes.
Pagano. Would you mind just kind of 30 seconds diving into what those two are going to be about?
Look, this is going to be all about role play, you guys. This is all about when you are when with the buyers and you are sitting there with some of this hard-nosed stuff that these buyers put you through, and you're like, what do I say? We are going to give you some of the best one-liners and the comebacks that you need to be powerful and own every conversation, own every negotiation in 2025. We're going to do it for the buyers and we're going to do it for the sellers. I'm going to tell you right now, if you miss those, you are going to miss some of the best. I mean, this is huge, okay? Effective negotiation. John's witnessed a handful of these, and John, they're game changing, aren't they?
They are. They are. I'm telling you, you guys are in for a treat. We want to kick 2025 off. We want to kick it in the butt, get started
Yes.
quickly.
That's
There's
right.
going to be no lag time And like there's no holiday lag for Grow Global.
Yeah.
So you just show up and get ready to go.
Yeah. So, hey,
25, 2025 is going to be your year.
if you've got a buyer that says, I don't want to pay you, you better show up to that Monday mastermind, because we're going to tell you everything that you need to be saying, because they're not only going to want to pay you, they're going to be begging to pay you more. All right. We'll see you next year, 2025. Thank
Merry
you, Rob.
Christmas,
Bye, guys.
everybody.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's.
Stephanie, third, it can be January the 6th or the 6th, right? Mastermind.
Oh, the calendar. What is the first
Oh,
Monday?
yeah.
The first Monday in January.
Yep, January 6th.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can-
January 6th, everyone.
See you
Bye.
January 6th,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.